What's up, everybody? Good morning or evening or wherever the fuck you are, whatever time zone you're in, whenever you're watching this. Welcome back to the channel. It's Opex, Mind of Opex. I cut my own hair, did my own fade today, so it probably looks pretty bad. Hopefully there is a glare so it doesn't make me look too bad. I haven't cut my own, or at least faded my own hair in a long fucking time. So it probably looks pretty bad, and I'm just noticing it on camera. Maybe not too bad. Anyway, let's dive into a video, shall we? Cue no intro. Alright. I want to talk about the internet, but more importantly, social media. Definitely talked about this in the past. Nothing new on my channel, but I want to reiterate, and I want to encourage you to get off the internet, if not permanently, at least control it. So this goes for you. Of course, this is affecting you. This is affecting your relationships. This is affecting your children. This is affecting every aspect of your life. Let's have a sip of coffee here. I'm no better. I'm on the internet every day, every second of every day. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm constantly on the internet. My only excuse is that, hey, I'm driving a truck, I'm fucking bored, I can't just be on the phone with my family and friends all day long, they get fucking pissed. So, I gotta do something, right? And I like to learn, so this is what I want to discuss. There's a lot of benefits from the internet. The internet in itself is not bad, right? Just like a gun isn't bad. An inanimate object or a virtual thing is not bad or good. It is merely a tool. So let's dive into it. I'm on YouTube, Bookface, and that's about it. I used to be on the WeTube. I used to be on Twitch. I used to stream my own video game sessions. I used to commentate video games, or at least Warcraft 3, which is the only video game I ever really cared about. And if you do want to watch those, go to Opex Warcraft at YouTube or Twitch. I will be back there probably November doing lots of videos again. At least on the Twitch, Opex Warcraft YouTube channel. I'm gonna get back at that. I've made video games before, and put them online. You can check those out. Go to hiveworkshop.com/Opex Journey and Journey Through Twisted Meadows, and I don't think you can find Journey Through Echo Isles anymore. But there is people playing my games online. You can see Witty from Witty Warcraft. He looked at an early version of my game, Journey Through Twisted Meadows. Another person checked out Journey Through Echo Isles. It's online. There's a lot of benefits to online. You can learn online. I'm online every second of the day, like I said, listening to podcasts, learning. I personally use YouTube for both learning and entertainment. There's a guy named Jack Vale. I have to watch his video almost every day to get a good fucking belly laugh. He just goes around Walmart with his little pooter toy, and he just makes fake farts all day. And it's fucking hilarious seeing people's reaction. Not gonna lie, it's childish, but hey, it brings joy to my eyes and my life, because I'm out here on the road. I don't have much options in terms of entertainment. I watch UFC. I'm addicted to it. So not only do I watch the pay-per-view, I gotta watch all the fight nights. And it's very hard to do that without the internet. So the internet has given me many tools in order to be entertained and to learn something new. Albert Einstein once said, once you stop learning, you start dying. That definitely holds true for me. I can tell, like, if I'm not learning something new or engaging with my brain, or at least having some fundamental exercise with my brain, whether that's thinking, whether that's understanding, etc. I've learned that I don't do too well. I need to keep learning. I need to figure out something new. And there's always something to learn. You're not the best at everything. You don't know everything. I know you graduated high school and you were like, this is all I need for life. The dead-end job I'm about to get, there's no need to learn anything. I don't need to know advanced arithmetic or whatever. Like, not arithmetic, but anything advanced, right? But there's always something to learn. I'm in the process of buying a house. I bought land, and I want to put a mobile home on that land. I'm buying it used. I'm doing all the research. I'm finding out what to look for. Things I already know, like soft floors and roofs, leaks, etc. Right? Like that's going to play a part in finding a used mobile home. I also have to know what kind of foundation I want to get for the home. How to do a foundation myself, because to outsource it's going to be expensive. Finding out things online for what's legal in your area, what's not, so I don't run into any hiccups, like zoning laws. Can I drill the well myself, or do I need a contractor with a permit? I have to figure out all the stuff, and I can't do that by just driving down the street and thinking. I have to use a tool like the internet in order to gain more knowledge. So again, there's a knowledge aspect to the internet. There's an entertainment aspect to the internet. Not only do I look up fart videos and stuff online, obviously I do more than that. Bookface, I look up new memes. I'm huge into memes. Since memes became a thing like 10 years ago or whatever, I've been huge into it. I find them freaking hilarious. So I need to be entertained. I need some factors in my life to entertain myself. And that's not a good or bad thing. It's just a tool. I love stand-up comedy. Just listening to George Carlin a little bit yesterday, and Chris Rock, and Bill Burr. There's tons of funny comedians out there. The only way I have access to that is via the internet. So I can go in all day about there's good, useful things about the internet. It could be used for a tool, could be used to do your taxes to save money, right? So you don't have to pay the person at H&R Block to fucking do your shit. And you can use the internet to learn what kind of tax breaks you can get. And there's always something to learn. And there's new do-it-yourself things. Obviously, YouTube's riddled with do-it-yourself things. You can build your own house thanks to fucking YouTube, right? There's good tools. There's knowledge. There's also a lot of bad things about the internet, mostly the social media perspective. So kids especially, let's start there because it's an obvious ground where kids probably shouldn't be accessing the internet at least nearly as much. So, kids, they're already brought up in a Disney world. They're already kind of like taught to disobey their parents. Their parents are dumb. And then when you add the internet into it, and kids and peer pressure, right? Whatever new trend is going on, and of course years ago there was that Tide Pod trend. I don't even know what it was. I don't look at those kind of videos because that's retarded to me. Yeah, I'll look up fart videos, but I'm not going to look up kids eating Tide Pods or whatever the fuck they were doing with them. But there's these trends, and they're almost always bad. Whether it's initially bad, fundamentally bad, long-term effects, but there's generally bad, especially for a growing mind like a child. So when I was a kid, luckily, yeah, the internet existed, But I wasn't affected by it because I couldn't afford a fucking internet as a kid. My parents never got the internet until about, I'd like to say, maybe 2000. I don't know, maybe 2002. There's internet in the house, which I played video games. I wasn't fucking addicted to fucking social media because that didn't exist back then. But I was lucky to have a childhood. What we did as children affected us in the future and in the long term. How you develop as a child is what becomes of you as an adult. Those little things that occur to you. How good your speech craft is. If you don't fix it as a child, you're going to have those impediments and different types of problems as an adult. Look at Mike Tyson, for example. His lisp, he never fixed as a child, therefore he has it as an adult. And so you got to learn these things early, fix these problems early. If you are timid as a child, you're going to be timid in many ways as an adult. You need to fix that as a young child in a developing brain, which changes your reality, how it's going to be as an adult. So as a child, we would go out we would hang out with the neighborhood kids, right? We would play street football. There was a school, not across the street, but like right down the street. It was really easy to get to. Huge field, we could play tackle football there. You would have to pick the ins and outs. Obviously on the street, it was, you touch the grass, that's out of bounds. And we learned a lot of things by doing that and hanging out with the neighborhood kids, figuring out how to interact with each other. Okay, this kid went too far, he got punched in the face, right? Like you knew what boundaries to hit. You knew how to be, and it became a thing where we became stronger people because of it. And I was a part of the last generation pre-internet, pre-bullshit. Yeah, we had video games back then, but what the fuck are we doing with the Sega Genesis all day long? You can only play Sonic the Hedgehog so long before, let's go out and play with the other kids, right? So I was a 90s child. I was born in the 80s, 86, and in the 90s I grew up, which was essentially the last time children had childhoods. So we would hang out with the neighborhood kids, play tag, play whatever, right? We would come up with different games, so we were doing this thing called thinking. We were verbally speaking with each other, not just playing video games and yelling at each other, but verbally speaking. Eye contact. We had to learn tons of things. If you didn't have eye contact, you were timid, we would bully you until you became as strong as the rest of the team, right? This would prevent people becoming gay and wearing women's clothing, boys wearing women's clothing, etc., right? Like, we kept other kids in line. Kids were under the guise of peer pressure. If you're gonna do something gay, we would be like, gay, right? We would bully each other constructively to make each other stronger and better. You're part of our team, you're gonna be stronger. You're not gonna be weaker. So we had an all-time quarterback in the neighborhood because he was crippled, basically. He couldn't walk or run, rather. So he had these like braces on his legs, and he would throw the football. He had a great arm. We were like, you're all-time quarterback, right? So the kids were still able to play. The kids were still able to have fun, even though that they were crippled. They had a disability, and they were still able to have fun and have a childhood back in the 90s. So nowadays, I can go in all day. This video is going to take forever. I can go in all day with that, but children nowadays are being raised to not leave the house. There's pedophiles out there, there's murders, and there's weird people, which I would agree, there's weird people in every time period. But back when I was a kid, my parents basically, not like if my mom saw me playing video games on a beautiful sunny day, she would tell me immediately, what the fuck are you doing playing Sega? Get the fuck outside, go hang out with your friends. That was like what you had to do. Like, and kids wanted to do it. That was called being a child. Now parents are under the guise, there's scary people out there. You can get hurt. And now they want, if you do go out, have a cell phone, have a contact. It's like, when I was a kid, you had no idea where the fuck I was. I was doing some crazy shit. And I know a lot of parents know that you want to do some crazy shit. I remember as a kid, so there was a mall about a 10-minute walk from my house. And at the mall, me, my brother, and this kid would go to this mall, and we would do some crazy shit, like play tag, or whatever, right? And we would go into like Bonton or JCPenney, and we would be like, okay, this game we're gonna do in JCPenney, you have the rules set up, and we would knock shit over. Whatever store we decided to go to, we were the rebels in the neighborhood, right? We were those badass kids that everyone had to look out for. Oh, it's those kids, don't let them in the store, kind of thing, because they're gonna knock shit over. They don't give a fuck. They don't have money to pay for this shit, right? And we would do some crazy shit. I can go in all day how much fun we had as kids. But let's skip that. Nowadays, you can't even fucking go out without your parents giving you a cell phone, constantly texting you okay? Where are you? You have to know the kids' parents that you're going over now. It's gotten so soft. What mothers do generally is keep their kids inside the house, gaining weight because they're not having any proper exercise. They don't know how to communicate nowadays because they have no practice speech in their speech, whether that is talking to adults, whether that's talking to their peers. There's no development. So they're sitting home playing video games, watching movies, getting fat, and mama goes, hey, fat, whatever the fuck you are, you're not gonna get raped today because no one wants to rape the fat kid. Right? So moms are like almost happy this is going on. Then their kids are being brought up where physically, mentally, and spiritually they're not fulfilled. They don't know how to make that fulfilled. Suicide's on the rise. Kids are being taught in school confusing things like transgender shit. They don't know what's left and right. They're more apt for suicide. They're depressed more than ever. But they have social media, which gives you little spurts of endorphin rushes. I'm gonna go check my social media, my Instagram, my TikToks, my what's the other one? Tweeter, whatever the fuck they're calling these things nowadays. And they're going out there, and then they're like, did I get a notification? Did I get a like? Did someone comment? Which, in my opinion, again, it's not necessarily bad, but this harms a child's development. They are not searching for like in real life. They're searching for small little increments of it that will never fulfill you from online interactions. Someone likes what you posted. Oh, they like me. No, they might not like you. They might not even know you. They might, it's gotten so weird nowadays that you're not actually out there developing relationships. Girls are out there making videos, like young girls. I don't know what the thing is with young girls doing makeup tutorials or, I'm sure there's thousands of them online doing makeup tutorials. What do? They get a bunch of clothes from shopping. Their parents bought them, and then they want to try it onto YouTube. Fucking weird. But they're out there doing that instead of making friends or playing with dolls, which they probably should be doing. Boys are playing video games. There's no interactions with humans other than, fuck, you killed me again, you're a hacker, blah, blah, blah. It's all negative. So, young girls are already finding out what gives them more likes. Probably has something to do with maybe they're wearing skimpier clothes. They see Instagram models, and then they're wearing skimpy clothes and shaking their boobs, and then they're getting 1 million views. So they're thinking to themselves at a young age, this is what I need to do. How fucking wrong is that? What does that develop in the psyche? How does that contribute to society? How does that make you a better person? How does that develop you into a way that you can be happy? It's not. You're going to attract the wrong attention. Boys playing video games, yelling at each other online, and your social media is generally all fucking hate, right? No one's liking other people, at least younger people, right? Kids. And they're developing into someone who's not going to be able to function in the real world, probably not want to work. And this works for both kids, male and female. You know, the girls don't want to work. The boys don't want to work. Who wants to work? Who wants to go on the construction site? No one. No one's ready for that. They just want to stay home online. They get all their false fulfillment from staying at home on the phone, on the computer. That's where they get their fulfillment. This is going to create a bad development. This is going to create someone in a whole, maybe I should say it, a whole new species of people that don't know how to interact with each other properly. I see older people, like the boomers, like my parents, for example. My parents, that generation, are being addicted to the phone. Now, kids are seeing that the adults are doing it, and they're seeing their peers doing it. They're going to do it. But the adults now are having problems, right? Like if you're in your 60s or 70s and you're on the internet, there's something fucking weird with that in my eyes. Yes, again, there's entertainment, there's good tools that can be used on the internet, but there's also the dark side, which would be that they're not going over to each other's houses anymore. Now, I thought this originally was going to be a young person thing, but adults are doing it too, where they're giving up their social life. Why would I fucking go over Nancy's and go through all that bullshit when I can just sit home and just give her a text message and watch a movie and shit? And then we can watch the same movie, but from different houses instead of together, right? So I'm seeing older people not want to hang out with each other anymore. If you go to the bars, you see that the people that want to interact don't even interact anymore. They're on their fucking phones. You see this when couples go on their first any dates, first date, 50th date, doesn't matter. They're on their fucking phones. And it's gotten to a point where it's creepy. First off, let's be honest here. We are living in the safest time period of all time. You were more likely to get raped 100 years ago than now. It's just obvious. Everyone knows this. Nowadays, there's cameras everywhere. Everyone's scared to do anything. Everyone's tracked on their cell phone. Okay, where was little Susie at 10 a.m. on this day, whatever, right? They're going to find where she was. They're going to find who fucking took her, right? We're living in the safest time ever, but the news and the media want to broadcast, okay, a pedophile's moving into your neighborhood, or this person just robbed a liquor store or gunpoint at the fucking, or shootout at the gas station. They want to blow up rare instances that are going on, which, yeah, those things are happening, but we're still living in the safest time period ever. You can walk down the dorms without fear of getting raped, but they put in these kids' heads, these college kids' heads, that the girls gotta walk with another peer to keep them safe because boys are gonna rape on campus. When it's so unlikely, it's probably, again, the least likely in history to occur. You are safer now more than ever. And kids are being brought up that outside's scary. There's people that are gonna harm me. Parents, someone's gonna take my kid, someone's gonna hurt my kid, someone's gonna abuse my kid, and they keep them inside, and then these kids never even develop outside of social media, which is not real development. It is actually very harmful. It's harmful in many aspects. Not only are you not going to be able to develop properly, this fucking thing keeps giving me that warning. Not only are they not going to develop properly physically, mentally, and spiritually, not get fulfilled properly through real life experiences, because everyone's doing it. It's not like you can go outside and go hang out with the neighborhood kids, because they're all scared to go outside too, because their parents won't let them. They won't let them go out and hang out with the neighborhood kids. And even if they did, they would be out alone, looking around, being like, where is everyone? When I was a kid, kids used to go out and play with each other. They would find each other. They would go outside and be like, hey, there's another kid. Hey, I'm Bob. I'm Jill. And you would fucking make friends. You would learn how to make friends at a very young age. Nowadays, there ain't no making friends. It's almost like everyone's an enemy now. There's dispute between neighbors more than ever. There's not like a wave anymore. It's a dispute. It's like this person just moved into the neighborhood. I don't like this person. When I was a kid, I had to learn how to interact with random strangers all the time because I would be out in public all the time. Throwing a football into a neighbor's yard. I used to remember this one guy hated it. He would stare out the window waiting for that football to hit his yard so then he could come out and bitch. And then we would have to go to another part of the street or down the street a little bit and then play there. Because we didn't want to deal with this guy. So we learned how to adapt. Because this guy would fucking steal our football. And there's nothing we can do about it. You know? So we had to learn how to do shit. We had to learn how to jump fences at a very young age. These are actually really, really good survival tools. How to adapt in real life, in real time. And you learn that as a kid. Today, these kids, at best, learn how to fucking have hand-eye coordination in a video game. At best, that's what they learn. Sad. So, I can go in all day. This video is already getting out of hand. I already started to talk about adults with their problems. So, what you're seeing online that's getting pushed to the forefront is generally half-naked women or cute women. So that's that side of the spectrum. For females, it's like beauty and pretty and sexual. And then your brain gets adapted to that. And for men online, it's all like the opposite. It's like, what can I do to be outstanding or outperforming or so over the top that it becomes viral. So these teenage boys are going into the hood causing problems, doing shit that you know that they shouldn't be doing. A, they're not even from the hood. They're like usually white boys that aren't even from the hood. And they'll go over there and prank them. they'll go to the like gangbangers or young kids, which is even worse. Like they'll go to kids, other black kids in the hood, and start shit. And these kids are like, "You're coming to my hood, starting shit," and then they kick their ass, and it gets uploaded on YouTube, and it becomes popular. And you've seen these fucking white kids dumb enough to do this shit. They could get killed. When I was a kid, we knew better. When we were in the hood, there are some roads you don't go down, and if you did go down those roads, you had to know how to handle yourself. So not only did you have to know how to fight, you have to know who to talk to and how. So that's generally city living. When I lived in the city, I had to learn who I can talk to like what and how to interact with people. I had to learn this at a very young age, because if I didn't, I could get jumped. I could be, every time I go down this block, I could not be accepted, and things could happen. So you had to figure out how to interact. You had to act harder at certain times, and then you have to refrain from acting too hard at certain times, because there's egos involved, right? Nowadays, kid just gets mad or angry, and they get their ass kicked. They're like, "Oh, fuck you," instead of thinking, I can get my ass kicked, and then it happens. People rob people. I see this all the time. Kid with heroin and fentanyl and meth. These kids go into houses with no fucking thought that they can just get shot. When I was a kid, it was quite obvious. If I go run into a house, I'm probably gonna die. Like, that was like embedded in my brain that you don't do that. Now, I've done that. I've run houses as a young man and young child. I would do things like that, but I would have to be smart about it. I didn't just walk into a random house and just start grabbing shit. I would have to fucking figure it out. Okay, this family hasn't been home in 2 days. Let's go check out what's going on in there. Things like that. But not saying it's right what I did, but at least you would use some common sense. Nowadays, there's almost like no fear of anything. They've been brought up in such a soft world where everything's soft that nothing bad's gonna ever happen to them. They don't even have to fucking worry about what they do in life. How they don't have to worry about money, because if anything was to happen, they got their parents or government, or they have some crutch to fall on. When I was a kid, I had to learn everything the hard way. When I was 13 years old, or was I 12? I was 12 years old, and I worked a whole summer mowing lawns. And my goal at the end of it was to buy a dog. I wanted a puppy. And I ended up doing that. It taught me tons of life lessons. And I wouldn't have gotten that if I was just sitting at home playing video games and getting money from my parents, right? My parents never gave me money. There was no, "Hey man, you want to go out to the movies? Here's $20. You bring a friend." Now I see these kids get mad when their parents don't do that. It's like, I never had that at all, and it made me a better person. Doesn't mean my parents didn't love me. It meant my parents understood structure. My parents understood development. What makes me a better person or a stronger person, a more developed person in the long run. These kids never have a problem big enough where they have to worry about it. Food. There's so much food in America. We have so much fucking food. No one's really starving. It almost has to be a choice to starve. But this is more than just kids developing. Going back to the internet. The internet is affecting us in such a way that we are not interacting with each other. We, as in, I kind of was saying, like, men in their 30s and 40s aren't even interacting like we did in the past, when we kind of like understood things a little bit better. We're kind of dumber now, for the most part. Like in terms of like, okay, the internet brings knowledge, but smartphones creates dumber people. The smarter the phone, the dumber the person. The reason being is because the phone is actually doing the work for you. AI, the internet is all doing the work for you. Instead of actually trying to figure out something like and then learn it on your own, the internet does it for you. You don't have to understand why. If you go to build a computer nowadays, you have a tutorial online that just says step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And yes, you can learn more than you ever did in a past pre-internet. But you're not really understanding why things are happening that they're happening. Why am I putting this? What's the processor actually do? Why do I need these fans? What's a heat sink? What's the point of that? Like when you're building a computer. And yes, you can learn all this stuff, but generally if you're just trying to build the computer, you just want the steps to build the computer. You're not understanding why. And a lot of times, the internet, even though that it's a useful tool, people are using it as the opposite, as something that's degrading our mind. So, once upon a time in the 90s, we used to call people that watch TV zombies. Right? If you watch TV, you're a zombie. Now it's the fucking internet has become the new zombie. You're just scrolling like a zombie. You're not putting your head up. You're not understanding reality around you, which is affecting your consciousness. Consciousness is not something you should fucking fuck with. See, if I lose my consciousness and I'm not as aware, I probably don't want to be here. If I'm a vegetable, pull the plug. If I can't experience life, why am I here? So, people are scrolling. They're going through the internet and they're trying to fucking find whatever can give them a slight jolt of endorphins or something that they can mildly laugh at. What we say is LOL. How you doing, LOL? It's like, you didn't have to add the LOL. You're obviously not laughing out loud. You're just saying hi to me. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Hi, LOL. Like, as if you, it's almost like a flirty thing. And it shouldn't be. And it's funny because you don't add the LOL, it changes the whole concept. If you add the LOL, it becomes like a softer, weaker thing. So, I've dated a lot of women. I've experienced the LOLers. Ones that just, they're, and it's almost like they want to show you that they're in a good mood. But they're not laughing out loud. We're lying to each other. It's affecting our communication. And if you don't add the LOL, all of a sudden, now I'm thinking, is she not in a good mood? And that's generally the case. Our communication has gotten so weird. LOL has been almost like a grunt noise from cavemen. Where it gives you like an understanding of what's going on without actually knowing what's going on. It's almost like a false communication. So I can grunt and be like, meh. That means I'm probably, meh, I don't like it. Babe, you want to go see this movie? Meh. You get a lot of information from that grunt. LOL is the same thing. And a lot of these LMAOs and whatever it might be, you're not laughing your ass off. And obviously that's a more of an expression than effective communication. Well, you're not laughing your ass off. And again, I dated a lot of women, and those LOLers would be like, hi, how you doing? Like, we just exchanged numbers. I know that's you texting me. And because you're dropping LOL after, hi, how you doing? LOL. That's like a, hey, we're doing this cute little thing now. Instead of just being human and talking to each other, we're LOLing text messaging. Now, of course, this isn't the internet, but this is essentially how we talk on the internet. Trolls. The internet fucking trolls. Come on now. I get a lot of trolls. About half of the people that go on my channel troll me. Do you see how, like, I'm making a video, but I'm driving? I'm driving a semi-truck. But all I'm doing is talking. That's the only difference. I mean, if I was talking on the phone with someone with my Bluetooth headset on, no one would bat an eye. But that's essentially what I'm doing now. And I get the trolls all the time. Dude, you should be fired. It's like, why? Because I'm talking? You can't be making a video. Yeah, I'm talking. I'm not touching the camera. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm not like, oh, the lighting's bad, I gotta worry about this. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not editing my video while driving. I'm literally pressing record and talking for 40 minutes. But these trolls go online, I should be fired. Everyone's doing it, but why? I understand if I'm holding the camera, I'm checking the lighting, I'm not looking at the road. I get it. But I've made 400 something videos and I've never been ever close to an accident. And if something was to go wrong, I'll just fucking pause my video. Like if I see, okay, this is stop traffic, or if something was to happen, I would, like, anyway. You guys are smart enough. My subscriber base is smart enough to understand what's actually happening. But, for example, I have a subscriber that posted my video, one of my videos, on a group page. And everyone's like, he should be fired, he should be fired. Why is he making videos and driving? Whoever, I hope his company finds this video and fires him. What? First off, you know how hard it is to find great professional drivers like me? You know how hard it is to find people like me? No one wants to lose me. So even if they see that I'm making videos every day, nothing bad ever happens. What's the problem? So this video is getting out of hand, and I don't even know if I have the space for this, so this is probably going to be uploaded in very, very low resolution, so I can hold this video, because I don't have much space in my phone. This is actually my phone. Anyway, so let's talk about those trolls. Those trolls are negative, right? There's what's known as the 50 Cent Party. It was pretty popular. It was by the CCP, the Communist Chinese Party, where they would pay anyone 50 cents if they go on to, like, people like mine videos, people that want to speak the truth, and just discredit them and hate them. And you get 50 cents per post. You can look it up online. I believe you can still look it up on Google. It's called the 50 Cent Party. And so they pay these people to make these terrible troll-like comments online. And what happens is, this is affecting our mental capacity. This is affecting our vibration. If everyone's saying blah, 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 bitchy in a video, well, people are going to be like, well, I got to side with them. Because people are so dumb, they side with the majority. So if the 50 Cent Party is paying 50 cents per post, and they're posting 10 times on this one channel, 10 times on this channel, and they have all these AI bots doing all the posting for them, people are making a lot of money, and they're swaying people's ideas. And I don't believe as much as you guys into the political thing. I think that the powers that be do not give a fuck if it's Democrat or Republican. I don't think they give a fuck. Now, there are some powers that be that do. For example, Henry Kissinger would rather Hillary Clinton be in office than Trump, right? There are people like that. Warren Buffett's, right? Would rather have Hillary Clinton than Trump. Those exist. But ultimately, they're not the ones doing it. They're just swaying the minds of the people. And that's what they want to do on the internet. They want to sway the minds of the people. If there's a pro, or let's say it's an anti-abortion video. This person's talking about anti-abortion or whatever. There's going to be a plethora of real people and fake profiles, or even real profiles, but people trolling to say why, okay, well, you don't believe in a woman's right to choose, and they have these talking points, and it'll bombard the comment section, where a lot of these users are now turning off comments, where you can't even talk about this stuff. So they basically self-censor. YouTube censoring. It's affecting your freedom of speech. Facebook tells you what's real and what's not. Who are you to tell me what's real or not? That's my discernment. That's how we learn. You don't actually get proper knowledge by just having information come to you and say this is real or this is not real by an authoritative measure like YouTube. So YouTube's algorithm hates me because I go against the grain. I'm talking about this stuff where I'm telling you, you probably should get off YouTube for a little bit. You should not have it be surrendered to the internet all day long. You should not, for example, I want you guys to get off the internet for a whole month straight. And if you can't get off the internet, which I probably can't, being a truck driver, I would probably go insane. Get off social media. Get off the TikToks, the book faces, the tweeters, the Instagrams. Get off that shit for a whole month. A whole month. Go out into nature. Reduce your children's time on there for a whole month. Go out to your local park or whatever. Go camping. Whatever you got to do, but do it in a way where you're not going to be staring at your fucking phone. And do it for a whole month. And see where you are as people. You probably have no idea what your daughter's thinking because they're constantly on social media. You don't know what it needs to be developed in your children's lives. See, if you're not actually interacting with your children properly, meaning face-to-face eye contact, without the internet being in between you or a screen of some sort, you don't know what's going on. And even if you take 5 minutes of your day to get off the internet and interact with your children, that's not enough. I want you to spend a whole month, you, your husband or wife, your children, your parents, whatever you got to do, spend a whole month. Make it a thing, a theme. Do it during the summer, it's better. During winter, I kind of understand you're cooped up, you're basically hibernating, I get it. But during the summer, during good months where it's 70 plus out every day, go out fucking side. Have your children play with each other. And if your children, you don't have anyone in your neighborhood for your children to play with, have them join a team, a soccer team or whatever. Have them do something fundamentally encouraging for them. Something that they can work at. And generally, physical activity is the best. But if you get off the internet, you're actually going to understand where your children are, what you need to work on with your children. And just to let you know, that's a never-ending job. So after a month, it would be even wiser to stay off forever. Again, I understand it's hard to get off the internet. It's become the new normal. It's basically a part of our lives. It's actually almost a part of our DNA now. We are merging with the internet as we speak. You can't go anywhere without your phone. You panic. Before it was, wallet and keys. And if you're a cigarette smoker, a lighter and cigarettes, right? Make sure that you have those necessities. Now you need your phone with you. And if you don't, for 5 minutes, you fucking panic. What if my kid calls me? What if blah, blah, blah? When I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones, right? My parents had no idea where we were, and they had no idea where we'd be. It's not like they could make a few phone calls even to track us down. They would have no idea where we are. We could be on the other side of town. We could have been kidnapped. We could have been whatever. But they had no idea. And they had to live with that. And it was fine. Now, you don't know where your kids are for 5 minutes? Boom, big problem. You're panicking. I just watched this yesterday. I watched the Joe Rogan Experience. He had Chris DiStefano on, and he was saying how he can't even he has such bad anxiety that he has to constantly search for what's the word? Constantly search for. Okay, he's one of those people. His wife, he has to make sure, did you get home okay? His mom, he has to text every day. And if they don't text back in 5 minutes, he goes through an anxiety attack. Dude, this is a guy my age. He's like 37 or something. He's my age. And he's getting anxiety attacks, panic attacks, over not getting a fucking return text message in 5 minutes. If it's a girl, she's probably hurt or cheating or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. This is exactly why we need to get away from our phones, get away from the internet for a whole month straight. And it'll rewire our mind of what reality is. If you're panicking because you're not in Wi-Fi for 5 minutes or without your phone for 5 minutes, that's a huge problem. You are a pussy now. You can't even survive now. I encourage you, go camping. Primitive camping. In a tent. If you can't live in a tent for a week, there's a problem. When shit hits the fan, the electrical grid goes down, all your Wi-Fi goes down, your cell phones don't work, you're fucked. You're fucked. So I encourage you to become a stronger person. Get away from the internet. The internet has made us weak, docile, accepting for no reason. What we need to do is get away from the internet. Try for a whole month. And if you can't get rid of the whole internet for a month, the social medias. Get rid of your social medias for a month. And I encourage you, don't let your kids get on the internet, on social media rather. Use the internet for tools to maybe watch a movie, that kind of thing, but do not let your kids on the internet until the age of like 18 for social medias. And if that makes you a bad parent in other parents' eyes, it doesn't. It makes you a good parent because you're actually helping the development of your children. Get off the social medias and have them go play sports. Go have them join chess club. Whatever the fuck. Engage in board games and not fucking video games. Get off the fucking internet for a whole month. That's my encouragement in this video. Okay, this is 54 minutes long. I obviously can't be doing this all day. I gotta stop making videos this long. But I strongly encourage, and I could have made this video a lot better and smoother and shorter. But just get off the internet. It is actually doing you, your relationships, so much harm. The development of your children, so much harm. They're gonna be pussies, confused about what a gender is. They're gonna be raised by their peers, and their peers are going to be raised by their peers. There's going to be no more role models. You got to have your kids out there and have them interact and become leaders. And if they're not great at something, that's fine. They can learn. They don't have to. My kid's not good at basketball, so I'm not going to have him join the basketball team. It's just disappointing. No! That's what they should do. If you're not good at basketball, maybe you should learn how to play basketball. They don't have to be the best in the world at something to do something. They don't need a participation trophy to do it. Just have them do it. Have them learn new constructive things. It's okay to have your children to go into, or your teenage kids to go into trade school, learning trades, learning pottery, learning. There's so much you can learn and do. Have your kids, like I said, at 12 years old, or was I 13? I don't remember now. One of those ages, probably 12, mowing lawns all summer long just to make enough money to get one purchase. And it was for a $375 dog, puppy. And I spent all summer working. It's okay for your 12-year-old to work, and for a low wage. Maybe be a deckhand for a boat. Maybe be a farmhand. Maybe do some lawn work. But your kids should be learning things at a young age. Maybe your kid, 12-year-old, should be like, okay, I'm going to go shovel driveways and salt driveways. That's a great thing for a kid to do. $20 a driveway. Maybe it's not fucking very rewarding in the initial, but in the long run, it's going to develop business strategies, understanding business, understanding how money works, understanding how economy works, understanding what the fruits of hard labor is. But nope, now it's, my kid's not working for $8 an hour. No way. That's like slave work. That's wrong. That's a wrong mentality. And we can go into this all day long. Oh man, we can go into a million different avenues here, but this is an hour-long video. I hope I got enough across. There's so much more to life than the internet. Go experience life. You don't have to watch other people's travel videos online, which I do. I actually like travel videos. I can name 5 on the top of my head. Kirk Kaz, Harold Balder. Bald and Bankrupt. They're really cool travel videos. These people are going to places you're not going to. Well, how about you go to those places? It's great to experience it online that these people are traveling and vacationing. Why don't you do that? Get off the internet. Alright, that's enough for this video. And when you're on vacation, get off your phone. Experience the vacation. Anyway, that's enough for this video. Plenty more content coming. It's OPEX. I'm out. Hopefully you understand what I'm getting at, and I hope that you drastically reduce your internet time, let alone completely eradicating your social medias. And this also includes dating websites, dating apps. All right, that's enough for this video. Plenty more content coming. It's OPEX. I'm out. See you guys.